Okay, today is stretch and strength yoga, focusing on building a little strength and lengthening. If you have the bands, grab bands or a strap or something you can use. We're gonna use those. We may also use the blocks a little. So if you have the blocks, not just improvise, make adjustments as needed. We're gonna start seated today. So find a seat, a comfortable seat. So we're gonna we start our classes by grounding and arriving in present moment. So if you are more comfortable in a chair, please make use of a chair. There's no prize for sitting cross-legged. So start seated, comfortably seated, finding your hips, starting to find your spine. Locate how you feel in the back. Locate how you feel in the neck. See how you feel around the shoulders. Wiggle the hands and see if you can loosen some gripping in the hands. And then start to just land in the moment. So if you're comfortable closing the eyes, close your eyes and begin to bring your focus inward. Notice the breath. Notice what the head is doing. So I once read that a teacher saying that if you don't start moving and breathing within the first 3 minutes of a practice, you've lost your class, you've lost your students. And that's certainly a philosophy and a way to teach, and there are many popular classes that teach that way, and it's not that it's wrong or right. But the practice of yoga is about finding that internal inquiry, that internal experience. So if you're not turning your focus inward, it's a chance for you to, if you cannot sit and turn your focus inward without your brain saying, oh, will she hurry up? Oh my gosh, I really just want to start moving and breathing. It's a chance for you to see what the mind does and why it does it. It's a chance for you to sit with it, observe it. Notice if your mind is chattering away at you and if it's impossible to ignore. Start with that self-inquiry, that self-exploration. And bring your focus to your hands. So many people think that meditation is about clearing the mind. There are lots of tips and techniques and styles. And the practice is to bring your mind below the chatter, below the fluctuations of the mind, the constant fluctuations of the mind, and bring your focus into something else, into one thing. And practice focusing on that one thing. So today we're going to practice focusing on our hands. And just bring your thumb to your first finger and take little circles on your hand, on your first finger. See how much you can feel. Can you feel the tip of your finger? Can you feel the tip of your thumb? And you really bring your focus into this finger and thumb. And every time the mind pulls you back away, just see if you can find actual physical sensation in the finger and thumb. And then move on to the middle finger, taking little circles with the thumb. Seeing how much you can draw your focus into the finger and thumb. Bring your thumb to the ring fingers on both hands, little circles. See how much physical sensation you can find on the fingers. Imagine that you could become just your hands. No longer letting your mind trail you away, but really just feeling your hands, feeling physical sensation. And then bring your little fingers to your thumbs, little circles. And then let your hands soften open and feel the palms of your hands. Imagine that you could draw all the focus of every part of your body away and right into the hands and only the hands. Now check in and see how you're doing. Notice the breath in the body. Notice how you're feeling today. Notice the emotions and notice them without judgment. Just notice what is present. Start to lengthen the breath. And imagine you could bring the breath in through the crown of the head, down the spine, all the way to the tailbone, and then all the way back up, lengthening the breath nice and slow. Exploring any little natural pauses that are in your breath. And then float your eyes open if they're closed and bring your feet out ahead of you. So feet long from the hips. If you're on a chair, just bring your feet long from the chair. And we're going to start to work through the legs. So if you are seated and this is what happens to your spine, place something underneath your hips to lift you up a little. Try to get a nice long spine. And then we're going to push through the toes and start to feel the feet. Try not to lock the knees. We're just starting to connect with our legs. Turn the toes all the way down. Look at the feet and feel the feet. And then pull the toes all the way back to the shins. And then start to lengthen the back of the legs without locking the knees down. So nice energy in the legs. And then start to pedal the feet one at a time, back and forth. Nice and slow, looking at the feet, looking at the legs, pulling the toes, feeling the muscles in the feet, slow and controlled. And then bring the feet towards the shin. As much bend in the knees as you feel is comfortable. Bring the feet towards the shin, toes towards the shin. And then take the feet all the way pigeon-toed into the center. And then take the feet all the way out. And then start to move this way. Just feeling the feet and the legs connecting with this movement. Bonus points if you can slow it down so much you're moving with your breath. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Little butterfly kicks. And just start to feel the hips. Notice what is present in the hips. If you're up on a chair, come on down to the ground. Bring the legs out wide, not too wide. So just feel the legs out wide and start to connect with the inner thighs. So we're going to start to move through the legs here, slightly different positions. So point the toes on one foot, bring them back, point them on another. So just starting to move and feel the legs, starting to adjust the movement, have an internal experience with your legs. Take it in any shape, any movement. Maybe you want to turn and look at the leg. Start to have your own internal experience. What is going on in your own legs, in your own body? And then bring the soles of the feet to the ground and you're going to lean back Not so far you're hitting the tailbone, but just enough to give you a little space. Bring the right ankle underneath the right knee, and then maybe scooch that left foot in a little. Just slow and gentle. Begin to push the right knee away from you. Get really long in the spine. And breathe. Slowly straighten out the left leg. Let the right foot land on the ground and then get really tall in the spine. Lift the arms up overhead, engage the core, and then twist. Twist, twist, twist to the right. And land. Do not grab with the hands. Use the muscles of the stomach to keep you in a twist. And breathe. Keep checking in on your hands. Keep checking in on that gripping. And notice if you are gripping and yanking your body a little bit further, who are you competing with? There's that internal inquiry again. Who are you competing with? Start to just connect with the muscles in the core that make the twist happen. And start to connect with the muscles that help you breathe as you twist. Notice what happens. And then bring it back through center, unravel the right leg and take a little wiggle. Bring the soles of the feet back to the ground. Take the left ankle and cross it just underneath the right, just as needed. And then bring the right foot maybe closer to the glute and then send the left knee away from you. Long, long, long in the spine. Breathe. And slowly wiggle the right leg long. Place the left foot down. Get really, really, really tall in the spine as if somebody pulled you by a string from the crown of your head. Take the arms up overhead. Take a deep inhale. And with the exhale, twist to the left with the muscles of the stomach and then place the arms down. Breathe. Longer, longer, longer in the spine with every breath. And inhale back to center and unravel the legs. Take a little wiggle. Come over crossed legs into tabletop position. So start to move and breathe in your tabletop. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale towards child's pose. Again, having that internal experience, so moving the spine, the arms, the hips in your own meditative movement in whatever way feels good in your body. Moving with your breath. Connecting to that meditative movement of inhaling forward, exhaling backwards, and connecting to nothing else but what is going on physically in your body. And then come forward to tabletop and tuck the toes if they're not tucked already. If you have sensitive knees, place something underneath your knees. So tuck the toes and start to connect with the feet. So feel the muscles of the feet. And then take the right leg long, place the toes down and send the heel back and forth. Slow working through the back of the leg. Feeling the leg. Lower the right knee and send the left leg back. Press through the heel. Lower the left knee. Again, tucking the toes. This time, fire up the core. So pull the stomach tight, tight, tight towards the spine. Press into the hands so that you're lifting up with the arms and shoulders, pulling out of the ground, and then lift and hover the knees. Breathe. Take the tension out of the neck. Have the neck comfortable. Squeeze the knees together. And then open the knees out. Inhale as you open the knees. Exhale as you squeeze them together. Make this movement slow and controlled, feeling all of the muscles of the legs, the feet, the hips. And then send the hips all the way up to down dog. Pedal out your down dog, move. Warm it up. Find that internal experience. What angles do you need to move in? What stretches do you need to take? And then land in your down dog and find the stillness of down dog. Lift the hips up out of the ground. Lift up out of the wrists. Take the tension out of the neck. Connect with your head, below your heart. A nice slow breath. Lower the knees back down to tabletop. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Lift up out of the shoulders, so make space for the wrists and the hands. Lift up out of the shoulders, engage the core. Send the right leg back without lifting the right hip up. So this is a lifted hip. This is a hip facing the ground, even with the left. Strengthen the core. Try not to buckle in the shoulders or the back. Lift yourself up out of the ground. Hold. And then lift the left arm up. Balance. Engage. Breathe. And then bend the right leg, sending the heel towards the glute. Maybe reach the left hand back and grab for the foot. Press into the hand if you catch the foot. Lifting up out of that right arm still. Don't dump into the right shoulder. Slowly release the foot if you have it. Back to left arm forward, right leg back. Breathe and hold. And then lower the left hand down. Take the right leg past the left. Land it and sink the hips back a little. Funky stretch. Press into the left leg actively and lift up. Fire up the glute. And then bring it back, tabletop. Set up for the other side. So get really strong. Maybe adjust the hand position so you're changing the shape of your shoulders just a little. Engage the core. Send the left leg back. Hold. Get really strong. Lifting up out of the left shoulder. Right arm goes up. Balance and breathe. Bring the right heel to left heel towards the glute. Maybe reach back for the foot. If you catch it, press the foot into the hand. Fire up the entire left leg. Don't dump into this left shoulder. Engage and breathe. Slowly release the foot if you caught it. Send it back. Left leg long, right arm long. Lift up out of the ground. And then right hand down. Left leg passes right. And send the hips backwards. Pressing in to the right leg this time. And press and pull up so that you're firing up the glute. And then bring it back to tabletop. Back to our breath. Inhaling table, exhaling child. Tuck the toes. Make your way to down dog. Hold and breathe. Turn your world upside down. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, and either hop or step all the way up so feet are underneath hips. Find a bend in the knees. Let your stomach find your thighs. Take the tension out of the neck. And then take a deep inhale, rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Hold your heart space. Find your feet on the ground. We're going to rock the weight around on our feet. So beginning to feel your feet. Lift the toes. Bring the toes forward. Bring the knees forward. Bring the weight onto the front of the foot. Maybe even pop up the heels a little. And then bring the weight onto the back of the foot. Try not to lock the knees, engage the stomach. Maybe lift the toes. Challenging your balance, challenging your feet. Moving back and forth. Rocking the weight in your feet. Feeling your legs. And then with a bend in the knees, engaged stomach, we're going to rock the weight over to the right side of our feet. And then rock the weight over to the left side of our feet. Maybe taking little U shapes with the knees. Just starting to feel the legs, the feet, all the muscles of the feet. What keeps you stable when you twist your foot in a funky position? Find those muscles, connect with them. Then bring it back to center. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. We're going to start to move with our breath, a little more full body. So inhale, arms up overhead, lift the heels. You don't have to lift them all the way up. You can just pop them up a little, just enough to engage. Exhale, bring your prayer down to heart. So inhale, lift heels. Try not to lock the knees. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, arms overhead. Exhale, lower. As you start to get your balance and your strength in your legs, connection with those muscles, start to bring the hips down and sink down to a baby chair. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. And if you want the balance challenge, don't drop the heels. Lower the hips, keep the heels up. Engaging the legs. As you come down, see if you can imagine you're squeezing a block between your knees and you're pulling a band apart. So engaging the whole leg. Sink it down to a baby chair, heels lifted or lowered. And hold. Now see if you can really think about the action of squeezing a block together and the action of pushing a band apart. So see if you can engage the entire leg and keep the whole leg really, really, really stable. Lower core engaged for balance. Hold, breathe. Lower the heels if they're lifted and bring yourself to mountain pose, hands of prayer. Catch your breath. Stand on your own 2 feet and do a check-in. How do you feel? How do your legs, your shoulders, your back feel? Soften the face. And then we're going to start to work on our balance a little. Bring the weight into the left leg without moving the hips. So don't swing the hips up and down and sideways. Hold the hips, start to get strong. Bring the right leg forward. So bring the right leg forward and engaged. Whole leg active, very strong. We're gonna pull the knee up. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can keep them out for balance, or you can use your hands. We're gonna move with our breath. So we're gonna pull up as we inhale. Exhale as we push down. Pull up, inhale, exhale, push down. Connect with the muscles that make this happen. So connect with the top of this thigh. Think of something you might need to let go of. Inhale, drawing fresh. Exhale, kick it away. Inhale, drawing fresh. Exhale, kick it away. Bring it up. Hold. Send the knee to meet the left knee. So now leg is active. Find the back heel and bring it tight towards the glute. Active leg, strong leg. And then maybe you can reach for the foot. If you catch the foot, push the foot into the hand and see if you can activate the front of the right leg. Release the foot without slingshotting it and send it back. High lunge. So find a shorter stance high lunge than you're used to. So not your full high lunge. Find one you can balance in well. So find your high lunge. Get strong in the hips. Strong in both legs, hands of prayer. And we're going to send the back heel down towards the ground and up. Down towards the ground, lengthening the leg and up. Hold a high lunge, and then we're gonna bend the back knee. So bend and lower the back knee and find engagement. We're not dumping into the hip, we're pulling up out of the ground. All of our legs are active. And then little lower of the knee and lift. Small controlled movement. Focusing on keeping your legs as stable as possible. You know, with that left, right wiggling, you want to get strong. Find the muscles that keep you stable. And then bring it back to a high lunge. Bring the weight onto the left leg and we're going back the way we came. Lift up the back leg. Bring the heel towards the glute. Bring the torso up. Neutral. Right leg to meet left. Maybe grab the foot. Press the foot in the hand if you have it. This is another place where you can use a strap. If you cannot, grab your foot. Wrap it around your heel and hold. From here, bring your left arm out. Maybe sending your foot backwards a little more. Engaging the core, maybe coming to a full down here. You can hold on to the strap, you can hold on to your foot. So focusing on lifting the foot. Pull your hand into your foot into your hand, pull back. Woo. Find your balance. Lift the foot, engage. Find your balance, and then slowly lower down. tap out the left foot. We were balancing on it for a long time. Really tap it out, loosen it out. Take some wiggles in the leg, let it all go. Maybe even give it a good shake. And then back to mountain pose. Find your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up. Find your mountain pose with your hands of prayer. Start to bring the weight onto the right leg. Solid around the hips, solid in the legs. Bring the left leg forward this time. Engage the whole left leg. Hands can be on the hips, out to help balance, or bring them up as you bring the knee up. Exhale as you push away. Inhale as you pull up. Exhale as you push away. The leg is engaged the whole time. Inhale. Exhale. You can make this more of a forceful fire breath. Drawing strong. Push away. Really let something go. Bring it up and hold it. Send the left knee to meet the right. Bring the left heel towards the glute. Maybe reach for the hand, for the foot. Press the foot into the hand. Balance. Slowly release the foot. Send the left leg back. Find a high lunge. So a little shorter stance, high lunge for balance. Hands of prayer. Send the left heel back and up. Strong, stable, controlled legs. Find high lunge. Lower the back knee and bend. Engage. Maybe lengthen your stance a little. Really engage all of the muscles of the legs. And then lift and lower the knee. Trying to find all those muscles that keep our knees and ankles and hips stable. Bring it back to high lunge. Weight onto the right leg. Slowly go back the way we came, lifting the left leg. Bring the left heel to the glute. Bring the knees even. So, maybe send the hand back for the heel, for the foot. You can wrap a strap around your heel. Once you catch the foot, press into the foot to fire up the front of the left leg. And then maybe dancer pose. So press the foot into the hand. Start to lift the foot, engaging both legs. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Lean forward. Extend the spine. Breathe and balance. Slowly bring the left knee back to meet the right. Let go of the foot and tap out the right foot. Really tap it out. Give it a shake. Let it go. And then connect with your breath in mountain pose. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Hold mountain pose. Check in on the feet. Wiggle the toes. Soften the knees. Soften the hips. Soften the shoulders. Soften the face. And then inhale up and swan dive it down. Step back through high plank. Lower the knees and find a child's pose. Let go. Find your breath. Bring the body back up to a seated position. And we will back to where we were before with the legs open. So, starting again, legs are a lot warmer now. Have a play, see how your legs feel. Move the hips, move the legs, see how you feel. Notice what is different. Notice any gripping. And then mindful of where your hips are. So maybe you need to bring your legs in a little more, a little closer. Getting really tall in the spine. Place the left hand down behind the left hip. Reach the right arm up and over. So we're looking to send the right hip down to the ground and then lengthen through the right rib cage. If you have tight shoulders, take the arm out of play. Just bring the arm down wherever your shoulder is comfortable and focus on lifting underneath the shoulder blade to lengthen that right rib cage. So always mindful of the shoulders, of your own holding patterns. And then bring it back through center, right hand down and over to the other side. So think about grounding that left hip and pulling up through the left rib cage. Take the tension out of the neck. Maybe even take this moment to give yourself a little rub, a little self-massage in the neck. Let go. And then bring the soles of the feet to the ground, knees up. And we're going to move and breathe and lengthen. So you're going to place the left hand down. Inhale as you lift the hips up, sweep the right hand away. Exhale as you lower the hips, bring the right hand down, left hand up and over. So start to take this movement fluid as you get used to it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep around. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep around. Start to take some flow. Feel where your own body needs to move. Have that internal experience. And then bring it back to center. And make your way down to your back. So if you have your strap, keep it handy. You can make do without, but have it handy if you have it. Bring yourself onto the ground and really feel the hips on the ground. Bring the feet up to the ceiling and start to really connect with your body on the ground. My clock broke, so I have to keep my phone visible. Holding on to the strap, wrap it around the right foot. Keep the left knee bent, and then send the right foot up towards the ceiling. Connect with the back of the leg. Lower the left foot down to the ground and really connect with hips staying on the ground. Once you have that, start to slowly let the right foot come over to the right side. Find the place where you find the inner thigh. You might need to pull the foot further away from the face or closer to it. Connect with the inside of the leg. Connect with stabilizing the hips, so pressing both hips into the ground. Try not to let your body rock around. Slowly bring the right foot past the nose and over to the right while keeping the hip grounded. So connect with pushing the right hip down to the ground. You should start to feel this all the way through the glute area. Maybe even on this side, outside of the right leg. Connect with how it feels. Slowly release the foot. Bring the right leg over the left. Bring the knees in towards the chest, and then feet towards opposite shoulders. You can grab onto the shins. Start to breathe. Slowly unravel. Bring the knees in. Wrap the band around left foot. Send the left foot towards the ceiling while still grounding that left hip down. So you're having that opposite experience. You're pulling the left hip down while pushing the ball of the foot to the ceiling. Lower the right foot, knee up. Still grounding the hips, pushing the hips into the ground. And then slowly allow the leg to come over to the left. Find the point where you feel the inner thigh, connect with the inner thigh, have an experience. And you can hold these poses static, or you can take movements and have an experience. See which feels good for you. Still keeping actively grounding in the hips, so you're having that whole experience throughout the muscles of the legs. Slowly bring the left foot past center and then a little over to the right without letting the left hip pop up. So pull the left hip down and fire up the whole glute hip area. Let the left knee cross over the right and draw the knees in towards the chest, feet to opposite shoulders. Breathe. Slowly unravel. Both feet come to the ground, knees up. So you want your feet about hip width apart, and then wiggle your feet fairly far away. So a nice long gap between the heels and the glutes. Bring the rib cage onto the ground. Connect with the rib cage and shoulders on the ground and the back of the arms onto the ground. So back of the arms onto the ground, fingertips can come to the ceiling. Connect with this whole part of you grounded. Connect with your chin. So lengthen your neck. Don't bring your chin down and force your neck to the ground. Lengthen your neck, chin to the ceiling. Start to engage the core. So really start to pull the stomach towards the spine. Now start to pull the heels towards the glutes without letting the legs and feet move. So fire up the whole body. Except the face, soften the face. So see if you can pull the toes up. You can connect with all of the legs. Pull, pull, pull those heels towards the glute without letting them move. Fire up, fire up, fire up. And then maybe lift the hips just a little while keeping that pull of the heels towards the glutes. Mindful of the neck. Breathe. Let the chin be up to the ceiling. Engage, engage, engage. Breathe. Lower the hips nice and slow. And take a little side sway of the knees and hips. Let go. Take the heels a little bit further away, maybe another inch. Find that whole firing up again. So pull the heels towards the glutes. Push the hips into the ground. Push the rib cage into the mound, the backs of the arms into the ground. Soft neck, engaged, core engaged. Pull, pull, pull the heels tighter towards the glutes, and then fire up the core a little more and lift the hips. No need to lift very far. Pull the heels towards the glutes even more, active and strong. Breathe. And then lower the hips. Let the feet come to the ground and take little wiggles of the hips. So lift and lower the hips softly. And then maybe left and right. Try and get some wiggles going in your base. Little soft muscle wiggles. So let those muscles wiggle and soften and loosen. Let go of any holding patterns in the lower body. Try to shake those sillies out. It's a kid's song, right? Shake, shake, shake the sillies out. So try and shake them out. And then bring your knees up and wiggle the legs. Really wiggle the legs. Loosen and soften. Shake it out. I highly recommend you look at that polar bear trauma video of the polar bear that was shot by a stun guard, and then he releases all his trauma. After he wakes up, he shakes it out. Bring your knees in. It's almost as if the animal kingdom, and us too, as children, we know this. We know to shake it out. We know to shake and loosen, shake things up. Because we put on all those layers of what we think we should and should not do, we forget some of these natural things that are good for us. Bring the knees in and just move through the feet. Feel your legs. Connect with your legs. Take them up to the ceiling and just experience your feet above your heart, starting to land on the ground. Letting the blood flow back down towards your heart. And if this is causing any stress, feel free to put your feet up on a chair, lay them onto a wall with the knees bent. Just hold your legs up, soft, not gripping with the muscles, just having your feet up above your heart. You can take it static or you move your ankles, feel your feet. We're not doing much right now, so it's a good time to check in with what the mind's trying to do. Maybe the mind is saying, why can't we just get to Shavasana? Maybe it's saying, why won't you shut up? Like, notice what it's doing. Notice, notice, notice without judgment. Just inquire, look within. Can you stay here a little bit longer, just feeling your feet up? Maybe you can just bring your eyes where your eyes go, often your attention goes. Bring your eyes to your feet. Look at your feet. Notice what happens when you look at yourself. Do you look at your feet and say, oh my gosh, look at that defect and this defect? Or can you just look at your feet and think about the muscles inside and how much work they do? And as if you're giving them a little love, giving them a little assist. The muscles of our heart pumps the blood down very, very strongly. And it's a little bit less skilled at pumping the blood back up to the body. So getting the legs above the heart helps us bring that blood flow back towards the heart. And then bring your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Take your feet up to the ceiling with knees bent. Happy baby. So you can grab your shins, you can grab your feet. Think about being a happy baby. So roll it, rock it, see how it feels. Bend one knee more than the other. Have an internal experience again. Notice what goes on in the low back. Notice what happens in the neck, in the face. Notice perhaps tight back legs. Notice knees. Notice, notice, notice. Inquire. Send your intention within. And then bring the knees back in towards the chest. And then find your resting pose. So from here, you can place your feet on a chair. You can keep your knees up, feet wide, and let the knees knock in towards each other. And let your back be soft. You can place something under the knees so that your back is nice and soft. Your low back is not being pulled by the hamstrings. Or you can go into your full corpse pose, Shavasana. So I invite you to really have that internal experience. Check within. If you think that all yoga needs to be finished in corpse pose, now there are many traditions with many rules and many reasons why they have these rules. So notice why you're doing this. Are you doing this because someone told you you should? Are you doing this because it stretches your low back and that feels good? Are you doing this, or your back or your legs? Are you doing this because it's a ritual? And because when you finish in this pattern, it feels good. It feels familiar. It feels good. All of these questions have no right or wrong answers. It is just a moment to check within. And if the answer that comes up you don't like, you can explore a different possibility, or you can explore why you don't like that answer. Maybe you've been told traditionally, as I was, that you must finish in corpse pose. And maybe you just feel comfortable and familiar in it, and that's okay, even if it is pulling in your body. Have that internal inquiry, seek within, get to know yourself. And then begin to soften your attention away from the mind. Bring your attention to the palms of your hands. And then think of 4 things that you can list that you can be grateful for. Hopefully 4 things that bring a smile to your face. One that you can't help. Not something that you're trying to force yourself to be grateful for. And please, people in your life you can be grateful for, but you might be frustrated with them right now. And there is nothing right or wrong about that. It is just an emotion attached to it. So try to think of simple things that bring a smile to your face without complication, because people are complicated. Relationships are complicated. For me, I'm very lucky. I have 4 dogs. It's very simple for me to think of my 4 dogs and bring a smile to my face. You can think of flowers that bring you joy. You can think of a particular sunset, something in nature, very uncomplicated, something that makes you smile. Think of 4 things. If you're happy to think of your people, think of your people. There's no right or wrong. I'm giving suggestions. So think of your 4 things and attach them to your 4 fingers. So index finger has one thing, middle finger has the other, ring finger has the other, and little finger has the other. So 4 things. And as you're laying here, touch your thumb to your finger and bring that image to mind. Maybe say it to yourself. And then switch. And go as slow as you can, working through those 4 things that you are really grateful for. And even more bonus points if you can soften your face into a gentle smile. Think about joyous, grateful, blissful feelings around these 4 things that you're touching your fingers, finding sensation, bringing your focus to. Bring your focus to your fingers, to your 4 things you're grateful for. A little joy on your face, a little softness in your breath. Lo and behold, you're completing a form of meditation. And as the mind draws you away and spirals you back into the fluctuations of the mind, fluctuations of the ego, or fluctuations of the emotions, just gently return to your fingers. Focus here. Reminding yourself of the things that you can be grateful for. Complete a full round and let your hands soften open and notice what is present. Notice how you feel. So it's important to know that the practices of gratitude and joy and bliss are not to exterminate the other emotions that exist in our lives that we might find or judge negative. It is to teach the body and the mind and the emotions that it is possible to hold both states at the same time. It is possible to have the capacity for multiple states at the same time. You can have the capacity for love and fear, for love and anger, for gratitude and joy, as well as sadness and loss and anger. All of these things can be present. We're not trying to whitewash our world, but to get to know the emotions, get to hold space for the emotions, get to know how they feel, what they do in our physical body. The more that you get to know them, the less controlled by them you are. The less they sneak up on you. You can start to know that when you start to feel a little ache in your right lower belly, that's a familiar pattern of perhaps anger or sadness or memory that you're holding on to and gripping. And you can just start to familiarize yourself with it. Not whitewashing, not pushing it away, not stabbing at it and trying to bury it. But you can get to know it. And as you hold space for it and learn to hold space for it, you can begin to hold space for the things that you're also joyous and happy about. And start to notice how they feel. Start to notice physical sensations in your body when you bring in joy and gratitude.
rather than trying to grip onto and hold onto tightly these feelings and force them in. Just notice how they feel, experience them, let them be present. Just as we let the fear and anger and hold space for it and let it be present, hold space for gratitude and joy. And let it be present without gripping. We're coming right up on that 60-minute mark, so if you need to take longer in your resting pose, please find the time to soften in and let go and make space and time for yourself. If you need to finish up, you're going to begin to make your way over to a fetal position on whatever side is calling to you and start to land back in your room, back in the moment. Exploring for a few breaths the fetal position. Bringing in that practice of familiar patterns. Reminding yourself of a time in the womb when all of our needs were met and we had not judged ourselves as negative or positive. We were just a little spark of life. Remind yourself that that spark of life exists within us, unchanged by our experiences, our layers, that little inner critic inside us. And then finish your practice with your hands of prayer, heart space in a seated position. Again, repeating familiar patterns. Bring your left and right side to meet in front of your heart. This gesture of accepting yourself as whole and complete, precisely as you are. And understand that this is perhaps a momentous task to meet our left, our dark, and our light sides, and accept that they're all just part of us. It may take a lifetime to accept yourself as whole and complete, and that we can build upon these little moments as if building blocks. May we all share a little love, a little light, and a little community, and hold space for our own and each other's darker sides. May we all know a little kindness, and may we extend it out to each other. Thank you for joining me.